Most people who have created success in their life, however you want to define success, maybe that's losing weight, maybe that's building a six-figure Amazon business, maybe that's quitting your job to start your own entrepreneurial venture and you've been doing it for 2 or 3 years, right? However you define success, most people will admit that in order to become successful, to achieve your goals, especially big goals, I'm not talking about little tiny goals, I'm talking about a big goal like quitting your job and running your own business for 5 years, or taking your business from doing, I don't know, $70,000, $80,000 a year to doing 400, 500,000, right? Losing 50, 60 pounds, going from 6 figures to 7 figures. This is the reality. And a lot of people don't talk about this. Success is boring. It's doing the little tiny mundane tasks. It's building the little tiny habits. It's making the small little decisions. It's doing the little tiny things every single day, but not just doing it for a week, not doing it for a month, right? Not doing it for 3 months, 6 months, doing it for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. A lot of people give up and they quit way too soon. And, I was watching a video the other day from Gary Vaynerchuk, and Gary said that from time to time he checks his email and people are always writing him, letters and emails about, maybe things that are working out, things that aren't working out, so on and so forth. And he was like, pretty much saying in the video that 90% of the people who are like, I'm getting ready to quit, I'm ready to give up, I can't do this anymore, business is too hard, or whatever they're going for, whatever their goal is. He said that 90% of those emails, people are like, after he asked them, like, well, how long have you been doing it? How long have you been attacking your goal? A lot of times they say 3 or 4 months. And he started kind of freaking out in the video. And he's like, 3 or 4 months? Are you out of your mind? This stuff takes years. But guess what? The internet doesn't want to hear that. Your friends, a lot of your friends, a lot of your family members, a lot of the people who are watching this video, they don't want to hear that, building an eBay to Amazon business that does over $1 million is a boring, long process. They don't want to hear that going from 235 pounds to now, I just weighed in today at a low, 171 pounds, man. I have literally been on fire. And I don't share that to show off. I'm just saying, like, for me to lose 60 pounds, for me to take my business from doing just a couple short years ago, doing $400,000 a year to now, I'm on track to probably triple that. I might do 1.2 to 1.5 million this year in sales. It's been a long, boring process. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, there's moments where running my business and growing my business has been very exciting. Maybe it's a new hire, hiring a new virtual assistant, training them. I know that might sound boring to you, but sometimes it's exciting because I know the opportunity that it brings to me to have another person sourcing, right? Maybe I learned a new software. Maybe I hired a new personal trainer. I learn about a new recipe, right? Like recently I started making these oatmeal power balls, which are oatmeal. It's got PB powder in it. It's got some coconut flakes, agave in it, a little bit of honey, some protein powder. And I make them and they like turn into these little balls that are like 150 calories and like 6 or 7 grams of protein. It's not like the healthiest food, but I have it as a pre-workout before my workout and it fuels me. It's pretty healthy. And like, that was so exciting. But for me to lose 60 pounds, it's not making freaking protein power balls that did it. It's the boring little things, walking 10,000 steps per day and doing it for 2.5 years, tracking my calories for 2.5 years, lifting weights 3 to 5 times a week for 2.5 years, going to bed slightly hungry for 2.5 years. Now, there were phases that I went into where I was aggressively cutting, maintenance. There were some times where maybe I wasn't 100% on my program, but even with my business, right? It's the same thing. Training my team, investing in my team, buying products, analyzing deals, making mistakes, finding killer deals, learning from the mistakes, buying products that give me an IP complaint or a counterfeit, learning from the mistake, retraining my team, spending money, listing, shipping, learning from mistakes, listing, shipping, learning from mistakes over and over again. Yeah, sprinkled over the last 2.5 years as I've exploded my business and I've lost 60 pounds. There are there's peaks, right? There's moments of excitement. There's days where I did, almost $10,000 in sales. I think my best day so far in the last year was like 8,000 or 9,000. Like, whoo, like I'm super excited, right? Like, it's amazing. Like, there were days where I wasn't even hungry at all and I weighed in, I lost 2.5 pounds and like, I don't know, I probably lost a lot of water weight and I looked in the mirror, I got a bunch of compliments from people in one specific day for whatever reason. And like, I felt like on top of the world, but guess what? Success doesn't care about that because if you want to keep taking it to the next level, I got to keep doing all the same boring things. Listing, sourcing, shipping, training, listing, sourcing, shipping, training, walking 10,000 steps, going to the gym, eating whole foods, tracking my calories, putting my calories in my FitnessPal app, working with my coaches, learning, going up, going down, having fantastic weeks where I don't lose any weight, having weeks where I do everything right and then my prep center doesn't ship out my stuff, doing everything right and getting a massive freaking refund or a lost shipment. Keep pushing forward, back to the boring, repetitive, mundane tasks, day in, day out, sourcing, listing, shipping, learning, refunds, weighing foods, eating healthy. I mean, do you get the point I'm trying to make? Success is boring after a while, and it's a lonely road too. A lot of people aren't going to understand what it takes to transform their body, transform your body, transform your business. Because a lot of people, let's just be real, when you look around, most people are working jobs. Most people are just trying to get by. Most people are just struggling. A lot of people aren't trying to build their own business. For a lot of people, their fate isn't necessarily in their hands, right? They're working a job. Their fate's in their boss's hands. Their fate is in their company's hands. Now, I guess you could say to an extent, my fate is in other people's hands as well. Maybe it's YouTube if it gets shut down, or Google, or if Amazon goes under, or Amazon changes a rule. But I'm calling pretty much all the shots. I'm the only one who mostly pays my bills based on how much I invest into my team, how much money I spend, how proactive I am at repricing my inventory, fixing high pricing errors, fixing stranded inventory, getting my team to produce a specific result. Same with my body. You know, my results are based on, am I eating in a calorie deficit? It's raining out today. I don't feel like being outside walking. I was just on a call. I was talking to Mama Prophet, and I was like, I'm tired. She's like, you're outside again. You really love it. And I'm like, there are days I love walking. There are days I love going to the gym. But a lot of the times I'm just checking off the boxes, right? If you want to get a specific result in your business, if you want to get a specific result in your health, first you've got to figure out what that recipe is. I've got a recipe for losing weight. I've got a recipe for building muscle. I've got a recipe for growing my Amazon sales. I've got a recipe for being profitable. But guess what? That recipe in the beginning, it's exciting. But after a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, it's very boring. I'm not going to lie. It's very repetitive. It's very mundane. It's not very, very exciting. And one of the mistakes that I would make in the past is I would self-sabotage, right? And I even see myself kind of going through the various levels now with my health transformation. There's times where I'm bored and I'm like, I want to go drink alcohol, or I want to smoke some weed, or I want to just go eat like shit. And I want to reward myself because I've lost 8 pounds in the last 60 days. And the reality is, like, I'm not even hungry. I'm not even craving it. I'm literally trying to run away from my emotions. And that's one thing that we all have to kind of figure out on our journey to success, is how to not self-sabotage, how to not destroy our results because we're bored or we're lonely. Like I said, growing and success, for me, it's been a very lonely road. You know, as I've grown my Amazon business, as I've improved my health and fitness, there's less and less people that you can relate to. Now, maybe I do need to do a better job at finding friends and people and communities around, you know, becoming now a 7-figure Amazon seller, becoming a lot healthier, right? Getting into running and lifting weights for years and transforming my body. And I'm no guru when it comes to health and fitness, but as you start to move up the levels, you're going to realize it's a bit lonelier, right? If you're not very proactive about finding the right people. And again, maybe I need to do a better job, but it's lonely because you're doing the same thing over and over again. Most people are just getting by. Most people are just trying to be comfortable. Most people aren't trying to push and grind and take their health and fitness and business to the next level. Most people are just, they want to be comfortable. They want to play it safe. They want to play it. They don't necessarily want to play it small, but they play it very small because their mindset is, it's more of a survival mindset, right? How do I survive? How do I pay my next bill? Like, how do I just make sure my Amazon account doesn't get shut down? Like, they're not playing offense, they're playing defense. Like, how do I protect the little amount of money that I have? And how do I protect like my 1 hour that I have at nighttime to relax and have a beer? And I have kids and I have all these struggles and stresses. And, you know, as I make this video, I start to realize to myself, I've got to do a better job at finding people that I can relate to, because there's hundreds of thousands of people who are focused on their health and fitness and growing their business, but you've got to go out there and proactively find those people. Matter of fact, I put together a eBay to Amazon mastermind, and it sold out within less than a week. So I'm not promoting it. There was only 23 slots, but I have a eBay to Amazon mastermind that I put together that is actually going down at the end of August. And amongst everyone there, the 20-something people, we're doing like multiple millions of dollars per month with eBay to Amazon flipping. So that was one thing that I've done to not feel so lonely, because again, most people aren't playing Amazon like that. Most people are quitting. Most people are giving up. Amazon's a ghost town nowadays. I've made a lot of friends in the gym, so on and so forth. And again, I don't mean to steal the show and talk all about myself in this video, but man, as you grow and evolve and take things to the next level, it is a lonely road if you don't go out there and try to find people to support you and connect with. Because again, most people are just playing, and I just hit my head. Ow. God damn it. Is that a sign? Wake up, Steve. Oh man, but yeah, I know I'm all over the place with this video, but success it's the small little habits, it's the little tiny decisions. It's the deciding to list 5 items, to ship 10 items, to train your team for 20 minutes, to weigh your food. It's the little tiny things. And after 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months of doing the same thing over and over again and not running away and trying to find the next exciting new opportunity, like you see with people nowadays. They run from Amazon, they go to TikTok shop, and then they run from TikTok shop because it got cold. It got cold. It's a little cold out here. It got old. And then they run to Whatnot. And then Whatnot gets challenging and they're an Amazon influencer. And then 3 years later, they're in the same place. Because becoming successful is just, it's boring. And you've got to learn to find excitement in the boredom, because on the other side of the boredom, there's the reward of taking off your shirt and being fit, feeling good, having energy, having the income to support your family, to take care of your family, to be able to pay your mortgage, to be able to take care of your mom or dad when they need a new car. You could buy them a car, whatever the money is for you to take care of your family. It's some mind fuckery. I'll tell you right now, it is. Finding the pleasure in the little tiny habits that are just so boring, but eventually, and I'll end the video by saying, after a while, the little tiny habits that are boring, that aren't very exciting, you actually start to enjoy them. You start to really pride yourself on doing the little tiny things. Going on that walk, tracking your calories, making sure you're hitting your KPIs, your spend goals, making sure you're monitoring the prep center, you're checking the purchases, whatever the little things are that you have to do in your business, posting the 3 videos on YouTube, even though you don't get a ton of results, the compound effect is real. So guys, with that being said, much love. Hope you guys are doing well. Immerse yourself in the little tiny things every single day. The compound effect is real. Those little things that you're doing today in 6, 12 months, it's going to amount to something so incredible. And people are going to say, how did she get so lucky? She did the little boring things every single day.